Hi everybody, Carol here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm remaking the cactus card from the first set of 10 cards I did, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. But I didn't have any more of this paper, so I literally had to deconstruct the first card I made. This was a solid sheet of paper that looks like wood grain in all different colors, and I cut it into strips. And I had done this card before, but I went over it so quickly trying to save time that I didn't really explain how to do it. I just kind of showed how to do it. So I cut these in strips. I glued them all to the left-hand side because I'm going to do a basket weave. So I needed these to be anchored. And this is not real heavy cardstock, and so it didn't handle this very well, this being jerked up and put back down again. So but we worked with it. It worked out. So, or I should say I worked with it. But anyway, so these are the strips that go up and down. You can see that it's two-sided paper. And so I'm weaving it in and out, and I'm starting off at first going on top, but then the first one. But I decided to go under, over the way you do in a basket weave, and it started kind of rebelling, and but that's okay. So once I got it kind of going, and I did re-glue some later, and it worked out just fine. But this was the pattern: under the first strip, over the second, and then the next strip I'll do the opposite. The main thing is just to kind of line it up. I don't think it really matters. This is kind of folk arty, and so it didn't matter to me. I didn't try to measure to be sure they were separated evenly. So this one goes over the first strip, under, over, under. And I just like it because it really shows off the colors and makes it very colorful by intertwining them the way that does. And so again, now they're starting to kind of settle in and stick back down again. And I will take the third strip. Got a little off camera there, so I'm sorry for that. And there's where I decided to go ahead and put a little bit more glue. And then I'll take the third strip. I think the back of that paper was bottle caps. Now, as you see, this piece, as again I'm going under, over, it has a hole in it because that was the top of the tablet. And so I just put it in a place where it could be hidden under one of those strips and no one would be the wiser. And so that's what it's easy to manipulate and it gives a good overall look. Now the other little strips you see over there, the pink, they were in the card kit also. That's the back, the other side of the paper. And they are word strips, and they went on top of and below these long landscape type pictures, like of a swimming pool or the ocean. I made some cards with those. And so I just cut them off. I thought that would add some interest. They're so much thinner than the wood planks, and I'll just slide them over and under the same way in the basket weave, and it'll emphasize that it is a basket weave and not just a pattern paper, hopefully anyway, and then add some interest with the words. Now this one, you might can see the top of the card, the top of that strip, I had to splice some words, and so it really looks kind of bad that had added the word please there. But then when I slid it under that red strip, it covered it up, and so you can't even tell that's been spliced. So now I'm going to do some stamping, and this is the stamp set that came in the kit. Simon Says July 2018. I'm stamping on with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I'm going to do the cactus in two different ways. One in the pot exactly as it is here, and I'll show you another way in a minute. Now on the other side I have the sun stamp, and it comes in two parts. So I did the orange with the solid circle, and I want you to see the next thing. As I take that stamp over to the ink pad, look, and you'll see these are the rays. You can see there's a hole in the middle, and that is because I cut it out. It had a smiley face, and I didn't want a smiley face in this. And I kept trying to cover it up, and it just didn't work very well, even with masking and everything else. This was just the easier way to do it. Now you can see it again. See that hole there? And it'll be so easy to put the smiley face back in. It doesn't hurt anything. So now I'm going to roughly and crudely cut this out around the rays. And as soon as I finish this, I will show another way you could do is go back and color those sun rays in, and to get a fuller color. For example, here I'm showing that I'm putting the yellow. I'll go back with some orange. I even go back and fill in that other circle over there that didn't print all the way, and colored it in with the orange, and it did just fine. So now the Tombow Mono Multi Glue, I'm gluing it up so that it can dry and become repositionable. And I can use it another time. Now, what I was talking about a while ago with the other cactus is I want this one to be long and tall, and so I mask off the pot. And now I'm going to show you, I'm just going to draw really long lines to make this look as if it's a long, tall cactus. Even when I go to cut it out, I'm going to cut the arms off. And so that it'll look like a totally different cactus. It'll still be in the same type of pot, but it'll have a different look. And they'll look good together as a pair. So cutting that out, then I'll cut the little pot out straight across the top, leaving part of the cactus in there. Well, that didn't work so well because the cactus lines did not line up. So I went back and cut the cactus out of the pot, just the lines for the cactus there, and then slid the long, tall, skinny cactus in until it fit the pot, filled in the pot, which is right about there where the cactus would touch the edges of the pot. Now I'm going to do a very quick coloring because I don't want to bore you with this. I'm using Prismacolors on the pot, using a blue and a green combination. And then the red on the back of one and the golden mustard color, I guess it's actually on the inside, I should say, of the pot. And I'm trying to match up the colors with the red and the gold with the colors that are in the wood planks on the basket weave. Now I'm really speeding this up. I'm just coloring the cactus with, I think, 3 or 4 shades of green, a dark green, an olive green, a lime green, and just a regular green, and trying to kind of blend them together and just make it kind of interesting. And so that's the end of that. I wanted to show you how I determine these colors. On my Prismacolors, with the pot, you can see the colors there. And I made a swatch a long time ago with the numbers beside them. And then when I have a project, I just slide it up and down, like that orange or reddy orange matches pretty well. That coral color matches pretty well. What matches that gold? What matches the greens? What matches the blue green? And what matches these colors, like that goldy mustard color on top. It's easier to me to pick out the pencil, because if you just look at the pencil lead, it's not always what you think it's going to turn out to be. So there's the sun I made, and I would cut it off if I glued it on, but I decided to go with the original just to keep life simple, I was going to say, but I like those colors too. Now I'm lining up the cactus, but remember, this is the paper I had already used, and I had already drawn the thorns on that paper. When you cut the cactus out, you also cut off the thorns. So I'm lining it up to where those thorns had been before, which made the placement easy. But if you don't do that and you're making it brand new for the first time, just make some little tick marks on the cactus where the thorns had been, or you can just do your own. It just makes it easier to go with what they had, in my opinion. But and just go along and follow those little lines with a black ink pen and draw those thorns in. That really adds to the look rather than just to cut them off. So that is it. I'm folding it up, giving it a burnish so that it will lie flat. And those are the extras. I could make another card if I had more paper, but I don't. I could buy another tablet, couldn't I? So that's the end of it. Thank you for joining me today. I'll have some still shots and some videos at the end. You might want to go back and look at that 10 cards, the first 10 cards, and then the second 10 cards, which I say 11 through 20. And see the other cards that came out of this kit. Very good kit. So thank you again for joining me. It's been my pleasure to have you here and to be here, and I appreciate it. See you next time before too long. Bye-bye.